Okay. So we're currently in Junco Sprint 3. Today is the review, and this sprint session started on January 23rd and is ending today on February 10th. So we'll start with platform. Pierre?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So we did several bug fixes in this sprint. The first one is on the southbound in the default single default pipeline. So we have a memory leak in particular. When we remove the flow objective, we didn't clean the flow objective store. So we had next objective forever in the flow objective store. And these can lead in how to say, can lead ONOS die, because basically this objective store increase the size each time. And yes, the second bug fix is for the intent framework. We had exception handling during the batch processing. So if there is an exception now during the batch processing, we are able to recover this intent and resubmit again for the next cleanup interval. Then the last one is to avoid multiple installation withdrawal of the same intent, which now can create problems because we are starting to flow objective and remove several times the same intent can lead to failed withdrawal, failed installation, and so on. That's it.
Okay, thanks, Pierre. Thomas?
Yeah, we also, as part of this sprint, we've created a couple of charters to help launch some new brigades, specifically build and release process brigade and also intent domain brigade. So there were a couple of documents created, and the information was transferred to Wiki. And the idea here is that this information will help guide the community in leading these brigades. Also, I finally got a chance to update the screencast for getting started with ONOS using Bug. So that's uploaded and available. Hopefully that'll, and I've marked the other one as old, so hopefully that'll help new people coming on board with ONOS, make it easier for them.
Nice.
We also did some backlog scrubbing. Then web UI. Simon?
Yeah, sorry, having trouble with my mute button. Yeah, so
can you hear us?
what we
Yes.
yeah, we
Okay, can you hold on a second? We're still getting set up here.
Bill?
Yep.
We are in the glass conference room.
In the glass conference room. Oh, we were supposed to be doing this in the kitchen. Okay, well, we'll come join you in glass. All right, be right there. Left hand, right hand.
I see.
do you want me to
Theoretically, it was supposed to be the kitchen.
waiting for Bill or other instruction?
I say keep going.
All right, keep going. So what we did do in the Web Brigade for this sprint was provide support for visualizing the protected intents. I know Andrea is picking up the other side of that and writing the actual application for that. We've also implemented a new Sprite Service for the Topology 2, or the region-aware topology, as part of the Sprite layer integration. And we also completed the processing of topology update events. So, for example, when a new host is added in the model, the UI should update correctly on the new topology view.
Supposed to be scheduled in the kitchen.
With the Sprite layer integration, this is still work in progress. We're almost there to the point where we can demonstrate it, but not quite. We just didn't quite make it this week. So, but the basic feature is there. So hopefully it's just tweaking that's required for the remainder. We had put on our docket the item to retrofit the icon and lines auto scaling that we have in the new topology view back to the classic topology. We just didn't get around to doing that this time. That's it for us.
Okay, thanks, Simon. Deployment, Luca?
Yeah. So we merged a bunch of patches. I'm not sure if you want to elaborate more, but essentially lots of patches on meters to collect meter features that were pending in the last sprint. Then it was quite a hard job on creating these resource groups and bandwidth allocation. Finally, my feeling is that it's almost there. I committed patches yesterday, and I received already a couple of minor reviews, so should be almost there. And then we have different stuff in progress. Some are related to meters, and the other is the job that he's doing. He's not feeling well today, so I can cover it. So basically, he's trying to support groups in the 10 framework, and the more generic goal is to support the UFPBA pipeline in the 10 framework, which means using white box switches with our intent framework, which should be something that we should do. So yeah, but it's a long job to apparently seems to be smaller, but so that's it. I just want to say, in the meantime, I did, while I was waiting for suggestions on the resource group and bandwidth allocation, I finished all the tasks that were pending on the infrastructure. So our Pixie now supports fully automated installations of also Ubuntu 16.04. We have a local mirror in the office synchronizing every night for Ubuntu 16.04. And we now back up all the configuration of all our network devices on a TFTP server here in the office. So whatever happens, we are ready to just buy a new device and load the configuration we use.
Is there kind of information on using the boot server and local pairs?
So, Bob, we can't hear you.
Sorry, probably they're not hearing you. What did you say again?
Oh, we couldn't hear.
Bob was asking if there's any documentation about how to use this TFTP service that was set up.
Yeah, and the Pixie and the local mirrors. That all sounds super useful, actually.
Yeah. Well, no, I should. Well, I did not for the Pixie just because, I mean, if you have Pixie enabled, you just need to turn on your machine and it just load the Pixie.
You have to be on the right LAN segment.
No. It does it on all our LANs that support the DHCP. So wherever you get the DHCP address, if you have something that has the Pixie boot, if you Pixie boot, the menu comes out, you choose your distribution, and you just use it. For the mirror, yeah, I should share with you the IP address of the local mirror. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that'd be nice because that would, for example, that would help me with mainnet builds because I have to pull stuff like every day. I have to pull stuff from the Ubuntu mirrors. It'd be nice to not be hammering them so much, and also to just have it be faster.
Sure, makes sense. So I'll make sure I'll share it with you and the rest of ON.Lab. Yeah. That's it on my side.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, do you have anything to add? Sorry. This is
Yes, sorry, Mike is not here, so I'll cover it.
And so during the sprint, there was the final version of the protected transport intent work that Yuta did. A lot of patches, but now the functionality is in, and it's currently supported by ONOS. In the meantime, we fixed a couple of exceptions that were thrown by Packet-Optical devices during the handshake, and that was a bug fix that we did. I myself evaluated the state of the full management application because we want to use it at especially ONS demos, and I refactored part of the UI and some backend code for that, and now it's in pretty good shape but ready to be used. I also started some work for the alarm consumer, basically retrieving alarms from SNMP devices. It usually started as only for the Canon device, but it got bigger, and basically we had to do a SNMP alarm provider from scratch. The code is there, but I had to prioritize other stuff, especially XOS related and protected intent overlay that we'll talk later. So I'm still working on it, because the task got bigger than I expected. The protected intent overlay was something that was not planned to be in this sprint, but I started some work on it because I was hoping to get it done by this, to get it into before the hardening sprint. But since Yuta is not in the office and he's in Japan, I could not finish it because I really needed him to, that he knows the protected intent subsystem and exactly how to get the paths and what we should show in the UI. So I think that could be done next week when he's back in the office. We did add all the equipment list and showcase for ONS and OFC, and those are, well, you see the devices that we have in the Packet-Optical, rack, and TT. And more will come in the future with some integration with some new devices. That's basically it.
Okay, thanks, Andrea. Virtualization, Yunsun?
Nope, not here.
Ali?
Nope.
Nope.
Yeah.
Okay. Guess we'll move on. Dynamic configuration?
We completed the implementation of a dynamic config service manager and the store. The service can now support create and read APIs. We also completed a RESTconf application that can use the dynamic config service. We did various enhancements to the data models. We have also completed the APIs and the implementation of some of the Yang encoding decoding facilities. The registration of various data formats and their translations to and from the data models is what we have completed. Yang runtime implementation is in progress. We have completed the parts where it allows schema registration and managing of the schema context associated with various resources. The JIRA tickets are as below. Next page, please. Next slide, please.
Is this it?
Next slide, please. Yeah, so this is our development and integration plan. So the slide that I missed is the in progress work, the slide in between. So somehow it was not showing to me. So what I have in there is the work in progress. Something on the Yang serialization, additional abstractions and helper utilities that are needed on the model, objects, and schema registration additions, and also the RESTconf application part that would integrate the Yang runtime is also in progress. We have also identified the resources and an approach to integrate the existing netconf driver for our southbound. The approach would be to use an active component that would be responsible for the interactions with the dynamic config service, and a passive component that would be responsible for device identification by interacting with other ONOS abstractions, and also it would be responsible for achieving any kind of protocol related config translations in cap, tcap, etc., utilizing the Yang runtime. So that's all I have. Yeah, so this is the development and integration plan until ONS. So we have identified the demo, and implementation is in progress.
Thanks, Satara. QA?
you want to start?
Okay. So in this sprint, we investigated the Delta security tests and plan to automate those tests in the next sprint. We fixed the topology update sequence problem, and we verified several bug fixes.
Yeah, so I was working on with Arun and Jordan from Copycat. There's this bug where you restart. There's actually a couple of bugs, but basically you restart some nodes and then one or more of the nodes basically becomes unusable. So we fixed 2 copycat bugs. There's one more that we've identified and we're working on a fix for. I think we can go to the next slide. So some bug stats. This sprint, there are 95 bugs resolved and 27 created, which leads us to a total of 113. And then there's a couple of high priority bugs. The top 2 are newer. So the top one is when you restart a node, or when a node joins a cluster that's already running, the application states can be reset or change. So some applications will get activated and it's not consistent across all the nodes. The other one is, I guess, a old bug that reappeared. Basically, when a node goes down, and that node was a master of a switch that has a link with on the other side of the switch, the master of that switch is that node that didn't get restarted. Sometimes the links will disappear, but they won't reappear. And the other ones are known performance regressions. Any questions?
I think just a comment, there's been storage exceptions on the cord side, so as we head into the next sprint, we may want to take that into account.
Yeah, that's the in-progress bug on the previous slide, the one that we're working on. I probably should have added it to the high priority bugs here too. But that's the copycat one that we're looking at.
Okay. Jian?
Yeah, okay. In this sprint, we made contributions in 3 areas, range from protocol, provider, and application layers. So for protocol layer, we started to support more LCAF address types, including nonce and multicast, geo-coordinate, and so on. And those added LCAF will be used in future development for deliver some other features. So for provider layer, we provide the initial implementation of device and mapping providers, and the domestic provider will be added later as long as the visual part are done. And for application layer, we added the skeleton code of mapping management application. So this application is something what we plan to work on in K-release. And all of the items would have been listed above were merged in the master branch. Then we are still working on adding mapping abstraction and the features of distributing the mapping information across ONOS controllers. And that's all we have in this sprint. Thanks.
Thanks, Jim. Okay, so that was sprint 3. So we'll be heading into Junco sprint 4, which is about 2 weeks plus. Our goal would be to try to release by 2/28. So we'll start sprint planning next Monday at 3 p.m. The focus of the sprint is going to be on defect fixes. So we'll have a bug scrub each week to make sure that we identify any new bugs to understand how critical they are, if we have any blockers, how close we are to being able to release. And then after this meeting, we'll close the sprints and create new ones. On Monday, there'll be a support branch that will be created for Junco, and then new features will continue on master. Planning will be on Monday, so I guess the main thing is there anything that is kind of outstanding? that we had wanted to include in this release. So is everything in that we had wanted? Okay, I guess we'll see on Monday. But the main thing is we'll be focused on defect fixes. I know there are a few things going on the cord side, especially with some of the fabric where we're moving some repos out. So let's make sure that we pull in some of those discussions as we get into planning for the next sprint. Okay. Anything else? If not, I think we're done for today. Okay.
Nice.
Thanks, everyone.
Short and sweet. We'll see everybody on Monday.
Okay. Bye.